What could this possibly mean for Canada? Is it clear at this point?
Oh, this is seismic because the tariffs that the president has used specifically on issues surrounding fentanyl, those tariffs now actually come off the table. Donald Trump cannot implement tariffs on Canadian goods as a result of this fentanyl. So those tariffs will actually be struck down. Now, tariffs surrounding aluminum, copper, and steel, those tariffs are actually allowed to stay in place. But nevertheless, this is a ruling that many thought would actually come down against the White House. It does make it very difficult for Donald Trump to implement what has been his signature economic plan, to implement tariffs on countries all across the world. And so what we're seeing now is this could actually neuter the president, not to mention many of the threats that we have seen from Donald Trump, particularly as it relates to Canada. Now, we do know also a number of companies have already begun suing for billions in return because these tariffs they believed have been illegal. The Supreme Court did not actually touch that issue, but given the fact that they have ruled against the president, we can expect that many companies as well as countries will continue to actually try to actually have those funds actually refunded to them. We do know that Justice Kavanaugh, who was actually one of the dissenters in this ruling, did actually touch on that issue, saying that if, in fact, this were to go through where Trump's tariffs were deemed unconstitutional, how, in fact, would the U.S. Treasury actually refund that money? They did not actually offer a blueprint on how to do that, but nevertheless, this is now going to be another issue that the courts may actually have to take up.
Wow, this really opens a can of worms. What kind of response are you expecting to hear from Trump himself?
I think the president will, of course, rail against the Supreme Court's decision. But we also know that the Trump administration was planning contingencies, recognizing that, in fact, the Supreme Court could rule against them on this issue. And so we do know that there are other avenues that the president has available to him should he decide that he wants to keep these tariffs in place.